Welcome CS 504 class. In this tutorial, I'll walk you through how to clone a repository and do a git add, git commit, git push, do a pull request, and also show you the other side of things to merge and see that your files are in your GitHub repository. Let's start. First, we need to enter a command git clone, and then let's copy this one. Let's go to this repository. Okay, you can just quickly type that on your URL. Once you have that, click the clone or download here on the right side. Then this is the copy button, and make sure it's cloned with HTTPS. After you click that, go back to your terminal, git clone and space, and paste that in. And when we say clone, we now have a copy of this online repository to your local machine. Now we can go inside with using CD. Just to take note, I'm using a Mac OS, so it's using Unix-based commands. It might differ a bit in Windows, not to worry. So I go to that. I type CS then tab to save some time, and then now once I have it, this is just an additional GUI for me, or a interface that I have. It shows master branch, but you can quickly check it on your own with git branch. Okay, first thing we do before we do anything else is create your own branch with git checkout b. It just means that -b is create a branch, and now use your name, first name dash last name, all lowercase. Once you have that, it will say switch to new branch Clark null. Okay, again, you can also double check that with this one. Okay, so because I'm an online student, with the ls command, I should see in and on, right? Readme is just a text file. If I'm an on-site student, I should use the in folder, on-site or in campus. If you're an online student, please use the on folder. So go inside the on folder, and right now it should be just a markdown file or text file. First thing you do is you need to create your own name folder. In this case, let's use the naming convention: first name, last name, capital on your first letter in the first name, and capital on the first letter of the last name. Okay, let's check that. Go inside. Once you have that, the first thing you need to do is let's create your own folder again for the module 1. Okay, let's go inside that one. Okay, and this time around we can start opening your editor and create your files. Here you go. In this demonstration, I'll just quickly add one file called print.py, which is a Python code. And let's see, hello world. Okay, I can access the terminal again, go back. I can run that with Python 3 or Python if you have created an alias or made Python 3 as your default. But in this case, I can just do Python 3 and the file name print.py, and I should grab a hello world. So now I have a working code, and let's say this is the only code that I needed for module 1, right? So the next thing we do now is you do git add and use the dot operator. It means everything, right? But before we do that, we can hit git status to make sure all the files are there. Okay, so now I can just hit git add to say everything, git status. And now it sees that, oh, your file in the local machine will now be copied to the staging area, and now it's asking you if you want to proceed with that, right? Now we should update our local repository with the git commit command, and now we should just need to add a message, and in this case we'll just add submission for module 1. And again, git commit -m, it's mandatory to have the message, or else you can't finish your git commit. Once that's done, your local machine is updated for version control using Git. The next step is now to push it to GitHub with just git push. But because we're using our own branch, we use git push origin and then your branch name. Okay. Now it's trying to push the files to GitHub, but take note, it's not yet done. We need to create a pull request. And now it says I can go to this, and there you go. Just paste that URL, and now I can create a pull request and just hit pull request. And then now, as a student, you won't be able to merge this, but because just for demonstration purposes, I am an admin in this repository. Again, as a student, in this case, you should already be done, and the maintainers for the repository would be the one checking your files if they're in the right directory. Again, they won't check if you have the right files, I mean the right codes. Right now, we're checking if you're in the right directory, so we can check if you have the right codes. Again, if the maintainers review this one, and if they see that you're not in the right directory, let's say I was using the IN, which is inside, but I'm an online student, that's wrong. Or let's say I do access the on, but I use a different name, let's say Kevin Wang, which I'm not Kevin Wang. So the repository maintainers would just reject your pull request, meaning they say they don't want to merge your files to the master branch. And then once they reject your pull request, the only thing you need to do is go back to your local machine, terminal or whatever, or this one, and make sure you move the files or put it in the right place or right directory. Once you've done that, do a git add commit and push again and do this pull request. And once the maintainers see that, oh, it's in the right directory, they're going to go ahead and merge the pull request. Again, this is not for students, but once the repository maintainers have successfully merged and closed that, you would see that your files should now be updated here. There you go. And if you're curious to what happened to the branches, is going to be in the, let's see, branches. No, insights. Network. So we started with copying the master branch, and we created our own branch. This is the reason for this is so that we don't accidentally update the master branch, which is the like the master version, right? So we always create a different branch and try to create a pull request, and hopefully, if it all is good, they can just merge it to master. So now master is updated with all our files, and every one of us, like all of the students, should have our files in the master branch at the last phase. That's all for now. Thank you. Also, in the succeeding of modules and creation of files, you don't really need to keep creating your own branch in this class. What you only need to do is, let's say you need to create a new file, or let's say a new folder. Let's just create make directory module 2. Okay, and let's go to module 2, and we can just, let's say, create another file. Let's say print2.py, and let's create that file, and let's just go inside and see that print hello. Okay, and just to check if it's running. Okay, it's running. And then now, once we add files, these are the only things you need to do. Create your file, do a git add dot operator to include everything, git commit, submission for module 2, let's say, and then just do git push. And again, forgot to place the origin and branch name. And after you've done that, don't forget to go back to this one and go to this URL. And then now you can click uh, branches and then new pull request. And then you see the submission for module 2. Double check if you're in the right directory here. Create a pull request. And you should be done at this phase. Again, just to recap, once you've done the initial setup, the only thing you need to do is change your file, do a git add, do a git commit, do a git push, create a pull request, and then you're done. And you can keep doing that workflow over and over again. Thank you.